Happy Tuesday morning. I missed a video yesterday. Apologize about that. I've been, trying to get them up every day, but sometimes just kind of get carried away doing other things. I had a dream last night I wanted to share with you guys because, it's a little peek behind the curtain of what goes on in my head. I dreamt that I ended up being the lead guitarist of this like local band, but I didn't know any of the songs that they were playing. So they were like, it was like a cover band, so it was all songs like I've heard. But like I never practiced with the band. I didn't know anything, and I was supposed to be like up on stage, like wowing the crowd with my amazing guitar skills. But like I knew nothing, and so I was just kind of like relying on the rhythm guitarist to like get it going and to kind of play some of like the stuff that people recognize. And then I was just like fuck, I don't know what I'm doing up there, but like got out in front of the crowd and just like played what I wanted to play anyway. And what's funny for me, personally, in my mind, was the dream had more to do with like me understanding the music theory and trying to figure out like what notes I should play and what I should avoid, and like were there certain riffs that I knew that I could work in. And so like it was almost like my brain trying to calculate my way through this challenge. But the other takeaway from this is this idea that you should just like kind of trust your training a little bit and just like get out and do things. And this had to do a lot with my Motivation Monday post yesterday. Maybe it planted a seed. I don't know. But this idea that like you shouldn't try to overthink things, you shouldn't try to overplan. And some of the lessons I've had learning the guitar, learning how to play, especially as like my skills have improved and I've gotten to the point where like performing is something that I'm kind of curious about. Like I want to get into. I've never done it, but I'd love to get into a band and play some music and do stuff. But like there's this idea of like how good do you need to be at an instrument before you can be in a band, right? And it might not seem like it has anything to do with fitness, but bear with me here. Because like you can spend years studying music theory and you can spend an eternity practicing skills and doing all the drills and doing all the stuff that you're supposed to be doing so that you can get good at this thing. And still never feel comfortable in front of a crowd, and never feel comfortable in front of a drummer and playing along with somebody else who's keeping rhythm, right? Even if you've been practicing to a metronome and you understand all the theory about it, like it's very different when you actually get out there and try to do the thing. So you just kind of have to get out there and do it. Like if you want to be in a band, just go be in a band first, and like you can figure out the instrument as you go. Most of the great musicians of our times knew practically nothing about music before they started making it. They just either picked up an instrument or sat down at a computer, sat down in front of some other people. So let's make some music and just see what happens. And they figured it out as they went along. I look at a guy like Dave Grohl. You probably all know him as the lead singer for Foo Fighters, the front man there. But I'll always remember him as the drummer from Nirvana. And it's like the dude never wanted to play the drums, but that was like the role that he was in that band. And it turns out he's a phenomenal guitarist. He's a hell of a vocalist. And it's like he didn't go to music school for that stuff. Like he figured it out as he went along. And so I guess what I'm saying is there's a little balance that needs to happen here. Of like if you got a plan or something you want to do with your life, like step one is to start taking action and start making that happen. Get out there and do the damn thing. Step two is continue studying, continue learning, continue practicing. The more you do what's in this hand, the more this is going to be dialed in towards exactly what you need. You find out like, gosh, I can't be the front man of a band if I only play the drums. I got to learn how to sing. Like, okay, well now you need to take singing lessons. Like whatever it is that you're trying to do. And in these times where, the whole world is kind of stopped and people have a moment to reflect and think about what are you trying to do with your life? Now is the chance to decide, like, what do I want? I mean, do I want to sit here, go into this job, making money for these billionaires who are just going to abandon us as soon as the chips are down? Or do I want to do something different? Do I want to take charge? And what can I do? And what skill sets do I have? And where's my passion? Because honest to God, the more successful people I talk to, the more I recognize how important it is to be passionate about your thing. We were interviewing a guy yesterday, Mike Weir, for the podcast episode. Will come out soon. And it was like, one of the questions Bobby asked was like, do people come up and ask you about their golf game all the time? And he's like, yeah, they do. I was like, does that ever get boring? He's like, yeah, it depends a little bit on your mood. But realistically, I love golf. I love talking golf. So like, it's not a problem. Like I make it work. So I guess the idea here is just move forward. Just do the thing that you want to do. Make it happen. Make that your reality. And you'll figure out the rest as you go along. And yeah, you'll make some mistakes. You just try not to make the fatal ones. And keep studying, keep learning, keep going. You got this.